Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. This is part 2 of my most recent pickups, even though this is a different episode. I thought I had to sort of split things up here a little bit because it would just be too long of a video, I think, to have it all in one, and might lose people. So this way you can kind of digest it in smaller increments, or whatever you'd like to call it. So let's get started right now. First thing that I'll show you here actually is a find that I got from a Facebook group, and I put a in search of type advertisement out there. Someone responded, said they had an original Xbox with 5 games or 4 games, I can't remember off the top of my head. And then I said, well, I'm not really interested in original Xboxes if they're the black version, and I'd have to see the games to see if I'm interested in them. And then they sent me a picture, so this is what I got out of it. I ended up paying $25 for everything I'm about to show you here, so I'll get started with this just sort of sitting on the floor here because there's quite a few things. So there were 5 games in it. The first one here is Crimson Skies, and it's complete. And I'm not going to show you the disc conditions because I know the disc conditions on these, I checked them. They're completely mint for the most part. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition, and again, complete in excellent to perfect shape. Also picked up Fable, and I already have, I think, all of these in my collection. I'm not sure about that Midnight Club game, but still, that's pretty cool. I'll have to check to see if any of these are upgrades for me. I'm pretty sure my copies of these are in pretty good shape though. Need for Speed Underground 2, still a super awesome game for sure. And then finally, and I do believe I have this in my collection, I think I picked this up pretty recently, it's hard for me to keep track of all of this, but still an awesome game. If you don't have it, go check it out for sure. It's Taito Legends. This has all the arcade classics on it. It says it has 29 original arcade hits. There's a ton of them on here. Raston's on here, Rainbow Islands. There's just like tons of them. What else is on here that is really well known? Obviously Space Invaders, Bubble Bobble, Operation Wolf. There's just a ton of them on there, so that's pretty cool right there. And again, that one's complete. Just has the GameStop sticker on the outside, but usually GameStop slaps a sticker on the manual. They didn't in this case, so that's really wicked because it's really hard to get those stickers off of manuals. So right there was the game portion of it. I probably wouldn't have gone on these really even for $25, although I'm sure there's $25 of value of games here just because I already have these in my collection. But this is what I was really after. The first part to it, this is actually a thrown in because this wasn't even in the original picture that was sent to me, is a wireless controller for an original Xbox. Now this is made by Hip Gear. I don't know a whole lot about this controller. I don't know if it feels pretty solid and everything, but it's really hard to tell. I'm not totally sold on the grip on it. It's just really wide, like these parts kind of come out really far in this direction on both sides. So I don't know about that, but it does have turbo, and you can macro things, so you can set up like button combinations and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. I don't know if you've checked these out before. It is pretty interesting, the fact that like it has some grip and stuff on the side of it. Kind of neat. I didn't know this was going to be in there. He actually threw that in after the fact. And then this is the thing I was really after though, and my American subscribers will appreciate this. It's a crystal system, and Canadian subscribers probably are like, yeah, it's a crystal system. I see those quite a bit, and I do too, not like as frequently obviously as a black system, but this system right here was released only in Canada, so for Canadians to see this is not that uncommon. I mean, I've seen this. This is probably my 3rd one that I've picked up, and I know there's one in a pawn shop nearby that's been sitting there for over a year and a half. Nobody's ever bought it. I don't know what they want for it, but it just never interests me because it was a little bit yellowed and stuff like that. You'd have to really clean it to do it. This one, on the other hand, is just absolutely beautiful inside. It's completely clean. There isn't even dust in the fan or anything like that. So I don't know if this will replace the one that I have already, but because the one I have is in excellent shape too, but this is a really awesome find for sure. I do like these crystal Xboxes, they're a lot of fun. And then it also came with the controller that goes with it, so this is the limited edition crystal controller as well. So pretty cool right there. You haven't seen one of those before, kind of neat. So for all of that stuff, I was just saying there, I paid $25. Thought it was a good deal. Like I said, I wouldn't have gone on it if it was a black system. Just not really interested in them. But hey, crystal system like that for 25 bucks, you can't beat it. Moving on, I was working on another deal here, and I told you this is going to get a little bit long-winded because the story was long. But trust me, the story is shorter than the amount of time that it took to actually organize a time to meet this person. And I don't blame the guy at all. You know, if you're not a video game collector, then you know it's hard for me to explain, but in real life's more important when it comes down to it at the end of the day. And this guy had real life stuff going on, so he couldn't meet me to do this deal. That's basically how it worked. He was super busy between work and family and stuff like that. And obviously for a $25 Super Nintendo deal, he wasn't really going to, you know, go out of his way. And he actually did come out of his way to deliver it to me. So I harbor no, like, you know, hatred toward him or something like that. That's too strong a word, but you know, it's not, I don't think poorly on the guy at all for how this transpired. It's just, this is the way it works sometimes. So I put an ad out there on Facebook that said I was in search of video games and Super Nintendo, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And he sent me a message saying, I have some Super Nintendo games. And I said, great, I want to take a look at them then. And so he sent me a picture, had 8 games in it, and I was like, that's great, I'll take them, kind of thing. And he messaged me back. Well, he didn't message me back. That was the first problem. So he didn't actually message me back, and I think our communication kind of got lost in the pile of things he was doing. So, you know, it's just a Facebook message kind of thing. So about a week and a half later, I just PM'd him again, and I said, look, do you still have the games? Are you still interested in selling them, kind of thing? And he's like, oh, I totally forgot about that. Sorry about that, kind of thing. I was like, that's fine. Don't worry about it, man. And he said, yeah, you know, how much, or I said, how much do you want for them? He said, make me an offer. So I offered him $25. He said, that's perfectly fine. And then we set up a day to meet. And when I was messaging him that day, he said that he had forgotten them, and he lives in a different city, so he wasn't going to go drive to the city and go back to his city, pick them up and go get them again. He's sort of passing through, and you know, he's not going to go out of his way, kind of thing, to deliver them. He was delivering them, but he doesn't go out of his way to deliver them, sort of thing. So he isn't going to drive all the way out back to his city to go pick them up and bring them back the direction he came, only to drive back to his city again. And I don't blame him for that. I understand that totally. So I said, let's do it another day. We set up another date for it, and this was, you know, near the end of a week. So that was like the start of a week, and this was the end of the week. And I'm trying to put this all together because I don't even know if that's correct, but there's quite a few days in between the first meeting attempt and the second meeting attempt. And then I messaged him that day, and I said, are we still on for today? And he said, I forgot the games in my house again. And he goes, don't worry, you know, this Friday coming up, I will put a reminder on my phone or whatever in the morning so that it will tell me to go put the games in my car, and I will get them to you, kind of thing. And I was like, that's great. So let's do that. And so finally and eventually we met up, basically. And the great part actually that worked out nicely about this is I said, okay, where do you want to meet up? And he said, well, you're in Mississauga. I said, yes, I am. And he said, well, I'll just come down the 403 and I'll meet you at 403 and a certain street. And I said, that's great, because that certain street is exactly where I live. But I don't want to meet people, generally speaking, at my house when I'm doing video game trades, just because you can see the stuff behind me. The only person that's been here as far as video game trades go is Longshot, because I completely trust Longshot not to come in here and like rip me off or anything like that, or plan a massive coup on my house or something like that to take all this stuff. And no one else really knows the location. Otherwise, if I've done a trade with you, you have my address, but that's a pretty short list of people or slash suspects, and I trust all those people I've done trades with. That's why I've traded with them. But I don't meet at my house when I'm doing trades. I always meet somewhere else. And he basically picked a location that is literally a minute and a half from my house. So it's really awesome for me, because I could just pop over there and pop right around back to my house in a matter of minutes. So we actually met up today for $25, this is what I got. Now, most of the starting ones I'll show you here are just some sports titles that I got, but some of them I don't have already, so that's kind of cool. And the first one here is NCAA basketball. This one here I always see in eBay lots like crazy. This game is like just basically in every single lot. I don't know, this must be like the most common game out there other than like Mario World or something. But there you go right there. This one has a super clean label, which is really nice, and the back's perfect. So worst comes to worst, there's a beautiful donor card for pieces and things like that, that's for sure. The next one here is PGA European Tour. Same kind of thing, it's an awesome shape. But you know, it was part of the bundle, so I don't, when I make offers and things like that, I don't try to pick and choose what I want out of a bundle. If a person's offering a bundle that cheaply, I just take the whole thing off their hands, and I'll deal with the doubles and things like that later. The next one here is NCAA football, which I don't know a whole lot about, but again, it's in pretty decent shape. It had some Sharpie or something on the back, so I'll try to get that off of there. But otherwise, it's in really great shape. There's no nicks or anything like that. Actually, there's a little one right there in the label, but still, really nice looking copy of that. Something that definitely needs some work is this one right here, which is NBA Live 95. I think I have this in my collection already, but I don't really keep track that much of my sports games, just because, you know, I'm not that interested in them unless they're like hockey games. So that's that one there. Now getting into games that aren't sports, although I guess racing cars is a sport, but whatever. This one here is Stunt Race FX. Only thing with this one is the label's a little bit peeled up here in the corner, but it's not horrible or anything like that. I mean, yeah, it goes right around the top of it, so you can't really see the top label. But again, it's not in the world's worst condition. The rest of the label's in like really decent shape, so that's awesome. And I've never played Stunt Race FX, and I don't have this in my collection until now, so pretty sweet right there. The next one here, label's a little bit faded. It may or may not be better condition than the one that I already have in my collection, so I'll have to see. But it's Super Empire Strikes Back. And that one there, like I said, the label's a little bit faded and stuff on it. I don't know if you can really tell. It's not like really super glossy or shiny. That kind of thing is starting to get that like faded sort of look to it. Like sun faded or something. I don't really know how that works. Like some of them, you know, got really glossy, and then others are just completely beat. But moving on from that, picked up this game, and I picked this game up recently before, but this one I believe is a label, I know it is a label upgrade, even though this one's not in perfect shape either, but in the future I'll upgrade this again. But for now, I picked up Bust a Move, which is really awesome. Love this game, so was more than happy to find that in the lot. So the last game here is something that I really wanted to add into the collection, and that's sort of why I kept at this deal basically. And it's not in the world's greatest shape. That's not a big deal for me. I can always upgrade in the future. It's really nice to get this on my hands. I'm a huge fan of the original game on the Nintendo, so I'm happy to get this one in. It's Battletoads in Battle Maniacs. And you can see like there's some damage on that label there. But again, this is a Battletoads game. I love Battletoads, so that's really awesome right there. The back of it's like really beat up, but I'll just take the back off of one of those. Kind of interesting though is it looks like somebody also has done this in the past. Has actually taken the back off of this game to put on something else, so I don't know, because the front, which is really actually in pretty good shape minus the label, and some like discoloring which will come off with you know, a little bit of cleaning and stuff like that. It's not really discolored, it's that nice like Nintendo kind of gray that you get on those cartridges. The back on the other hand is like complete and total donor cart material. Like this is completely yellowed. It looks like somebody has essentially tried to scrub stuff off of it. The back's all ripped up, there's Sharpie on it and everything like that. It's almost like somebody took the back off of Battletoads here and put it on some other cartridge and then just kind of pieced this together, back together. I don't know why somebody would do that to a cartridge like this, because the game's not like super valuable, but it's not super cheap either. So that's everything that I got in that lot. So those 8 games, $25. Thought it was a pretty good deal. Definitely worth it. I mean, that game alone's you know, a $25 game in my eyes. Probably a little bit more locally, but that's the way that goes. So really happy with that and super pumped to add that into my collection, and obviously be able to upgrade Bust a Move, and then getting this one here, which might also be an upgrade. which is really awesome. And then Stunt Race FX, which I don't have in my collection. So those 4 games I'm definitely going to keep around. These sports ones, I don't know if I'm going to put them in my collection or not. We'll just have to see. I'll probably will hold on to them if I don't have them, but that's just the way that goes. So that was that deal. And then finally, I told you this was going to be long, that's why I broke this into 2 parts. I finally got something in the mail today that I've been looking for a long time. I'm going to actually make a few videos about this. 1, I'll end up doing an unboxing. 2, I'm going to do, I don't want to call it a rant, but I do want to speak about my experience with the company that I ordered this from, because it was absolutely deplorable. And I even told them as such that I would be talking about them on my YouTube channel and the awful customer service that I received from the company. So I'll get into that a little bit later, but the thing that I did get today in the mail, it was waiting for me when I got home, is a Retron 5, and this is the first time I've actually pulled this out of the box, so it's in the bag and everything. Here's the system. I'm not going to unbox this right now. Like I said, I'll do a separate unboxing for it. But I finally got this thing. This took just forever, basically. It was supposed to come out at the end of June. It's now the first week of September. So this is awesome right here. I can't wait to check that out for sure. Actually came with a little Hyperkin bag as well in there. And I'll obviously unbox that at a later date, and also do a separate video talking about my experience with the company that I ordered this through, because it was just absolutely probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had ordering something online. So I'll have to do my review of that as well. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.